welcome everyone. Welcome back to 852 Recordings. Now, we're going to jump straight into this. So, as you can see, we are using Logic Pro X, and what she has asked me to do is just basically mix this to be sounding ready for YouTube or Spotify. We're going to be, this may be a little bit of a lengthy video because it's going to take some time to kind of run through and to do the process and also talk about what I'm doing. So yeah, let's just jump into it. So first of all, the first thing I am going to be looking at is, first we're going to take a listen. That's the first thing you should do. So just take a listen to the beginning. If you don't listen to the whole thing, which you should do really, but for the purposes of this video, I'm just going to skip through. Listen to the start and let's hear what we've got.
Welcome to Metariki channel. Welcome to another shamanic meditation.
Oh yeah, just before I start, if you do get someone that is asking you to mix your track, and you know you're just starting out in your mixing journey, what you want to do is you want to kind of have a talk with them about what it is that they want to achieve out of this. Why are they presenting this to you to be mixed? Is there anything that they're unhappy with? Is there anything that that they like the sound of that they can provide to you as a reference track? This is usually very helpful because I might have an idea of what I like, and I go through the whole mixing process. For this, as you can see, there's not many tracks. But for some mixing jobs, you'll be dealing with many tracks, possibly 100 tracks, and you go through spending, I don't know, a day and a half mixing a song, and then you present it to the person that gave you the mix, and they're just like, "What's this? This is not. This is so far from what I wanted to hear." So that's why getting a reference track of some sort, something that they've heard or something that they like the sound of, and also get them to explain what it is about that mix that they like, because you may not be able to get the mix to sound exactly like that, and it's very likely that you will not get it to sound exactly like that, but there may be elements in that mix that you can bring into your mix, regardless of the instruments being different or the sounds being different. So okay, let's just get started now. Let's have a listen.
Welcome to Metariki channel.
Right, straight off the bat there.
Hi and welcome to Metariki.
There's a little click there that doesn't sound great. I'm not sure what that is. So let's have a look
Hi
at
and
it.
welcome.
Okay, so you see where she says welcome. If I open this wave out, just here, just in this area where I'm hovering the mouse, there's a unwanted click that we want to later on try and get rid of that. Okay, so basically what I can see here is that the levels of this intro is pretty low, and you can also, if you expand the wave, you can kind of see we're dealing with pretty low levels here. So what I will do is I'm just going to do a bit of gain staging, and this is something that I will do for all of the instruments that is needing. So here we need to, what we want to do is raise the level to be presenting around about -12, -9, leaving room for any mastering that we might do later. So what I'll do is I'll just basically click the track channel or highlight all the parts that's on that, all the regions that's on that track, and I will go to the region section, which can be a drop down list in the top left corner, and you want to find what is called gain level, and you want to find the gain level here, and as you raise, you just click basically in this gray area and raise it up, and you'll see the gain is increasing as well. Let me just take away the reverb for a moment.
Where we focus on healing what has to be healed in our body.
Now, she has already placed some plugins, so she's given me the Logic session, and on this channel there is a noise gate, which basically cuts the noise, reduces the noise when she is not speaking, and then opens the gate once she is speaking, and that just helps with removing any dead space and she's obviously added this reverb channel because she likes it, I guess. So she's kind of done her own basis of a mix, and she just wants me to kind of enhance it. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to just gently reintroduce this reverb, clicking onto that channel. Now I have already had a little play around with this. What I done is I removed all the low frequencies of the reverb, and I'm also going to reduce some of the high end and kind of just focus it more on the mid-range where her vocals is lying, because I don't want to kind of have unwanted reverb noise on the low end and the high end that might interfere with the mix later. So
where we focus on healing what has to be healed in our body. So please, during this meditation,
I'm going to reduce the size a bit because I want it to be a little bit more intimate.
where we focus on healing what has to be healed in our body. So please, during this meditation, when you breathe in and out, put your focus.
What we're going to do now is we've now raised the level of the voice.
Where we focus
and as you can
on
see,
healing.
it's hitting around -12. Let's set our meter level to 0.
Where we focus.
Okay, there's been some automation that she's actually placed on this. So if I go into the automation tab, you can toggle through the automation, just this little section here which says show and hide automation. Click that and it would also show what's been drawn in. Now for this, I am going to actually remove the automation completely because I don't feel it's actually needed. I'm not sure why it's there, but this is the end of the track. So as you can see, there's nothing really happening on this channel. It's just her intro and outro, so I don't feel there's need for any automation. It's probably on there from something previous and she's just used that channel. Okay, so let's have a look again. Listen.
Hi and welcome to Metariki channel.
Now what can we do about that click? There is a plugin that I'm going to use, and it is called, it's in the isotope bob. So there's a plugin I'm going to use, and it's by Isotope RX, and it is D-Click is the name of the plugin. So I'm going to click that, load that in, and let's see if we can do something about that click.
Hi and welcome to Metariki channel.
Now let's disable that plugin and listen again.
Hi and welcome to
Let's enable it.
Hi and welcome to Metariki channel.
Now, did you see the difference in the before and after? You can adjust the sensitivity of the plugin. I feel it's done a fair enough job, so I'm just going to leave it there. And I'm also going to put it below, just below the noise gate. Okay, and let's roll on.
So please, during this meditation, when you breathe in and out, put your focus on a part of the body that needs healing.
Okay, so let's move on to the next sound. So again, this is the vocals, her speech. Okay, so she's got some. Okay, so once again, if we come
on healing what has to be healed in our body.
Okay, comparing this, you can just see straight off the bat. I also like to cut, sorry, let me just go back. I like to also color my tracks so that I can see clearly what's what. And for vocals, I like to, when I'm coloring my regions, I just kind of use, I would use violet for vocals because it's violet and V and V. So I just turn that purple, and I just know anything that's purple of that shade is got something to do with vocals, violet and vocals. Okay, then I might, if it was drums, yeah, there's nothing really for drums, but guitar, I'd use green for guitar, G and G, and that type of thing. So I'm just trying to keep that type of system, and it works out for me anyway. Something you might want to implement. So anyway, straight off the bat, I can see there's a fair deal of variation in terms of the level of her vocals. Some parts are a lot louder than others, but overall it's still pretty low. So again, I'm going to do a bit of gain staging here, and we'll likely need to control the differences. So let's spread that out. Okay, so I'm going to raise this up using the louder parts. So it's reset. So it's at a stable level now. Okay, so now what I want to do is she's again got the noise gate, she's got the reverb, and she's got an echo added. Before the reverb and the echo comes in, I want to compress and also EQ the vocals. So I'm going to need to first compress because I want to get this evenly balanced. So just using, I have got a multitude of compressors, but for the sake of this video, I'm going to try to keep it just Logic stock plugins. So I'm going to use Logic's compressor set, and let's see if we can get a fair balance. What the compressor's going to do is it's going to basically reduce the level when she sings louder than the particular threshold that I set, along with all the other settings as ratio and attack and release and stuff. You can really get creative with it, but for the purpose of this, I just want to even out the track volumes. So let's see what happens. As you see, it's doing a light reduction when she sings. Now, what I want to see is when I'm in the low sections, this is like a low area here. What the hell? Where's my screen gone? Anyway, so yeah, basically what I'm going to do here is I'm going to place this in the parts where she's singing lower. All right, let me step back. So coming out of this automation thing, there are a few things you can do to balance out the audio. You can go in yourself, select areas that could be, and just raise them up. Do you see? So that when it does come to compression, the compressor's not working so hard. In this case, I'm going to raise this area up. It was like this before, but I'm just going to kind of get them to an even point. Here you can kind of see from there to there roughly. Zooming in a bit. Oh, look at how perfect that was. Okay, I'll hit that as a separate, and then I'll just go to raise the gain there a bit, and then move down, further down, you know, just to give it a rough boost. Here I might just raise that a bit, just a bit. And so our compressor is going to be working a less harder than it would have been. So let's come back now. Let's listen to this again. what I'm just doing is I'm setting the threshold to be around about -30 dB. So now that's gonna, as she sings, it's gonna, the lower parts will be sounding louder. And as you can see, there's more reduction happening. Okay. So I feel now I'm just going to do a check throughout and just basically skip through the parts and see that our meters sitting mainly around -12. If it jumps over a bit here and there, loud parts, that's fine, but you mainly want it around -12, -9. No higher than -6 really. I'm pretty happy with that. So now we're going to gain stage the next part. So this is some drums she's okay, so now again let's have a look at these let's have a look at these plugins she's got on there. There's an echo, there's a reverb, there's a bass amp, there's a noise gate. I always like to have my noise gate first, so I will swap that with the echo. I'll then put my bass amp. What is the bass amp there for? So basically when you load up instruments, well, she hasn't. So basically this is something that she's actually played in this room that we're doing this video in with a drum. Where's the drum? Drums somewhere. So she's actually recorded this using this very AKG C4. So what is it? AKG C414 XL2 microphone. It's a long name. And yeah, she's used that to record the drum performance. And for some reason these plugins have been added. I'm not sure if she put them there herself or she kind of used a preset. But we're just gonna listen through with the plugins on. I'm taking it that she likes what she's done here. So this is now already. I just feel that this sounds already too much, too like there's not enough low end. So I'm gonna make room for a equalizer. Okay, and the compressor too, and we will likely just be muting these for a moment. So let's use our compressor. Now there's some kind of distortion sound that's happening there. I'm not really a fan of what I'm hearing. Okay, let's take everything off. Yeah, you can hear that it doesn't sound that great. Now what can we do about that? There's a few things that can be done. We can check out, let's load in our EQ, equalizer. It's just distortion, so yeah, it's a bit of a mess. So what we're gonna do is just try and see with this isotope XR is just try. I'm gonna try using something called the crackle. Let's see how that works out. If I just play this section here. That's with the crackle bypassed, and this is it with it on. So what it's done is reduce this crackling sound a bit. I'm not too sure if you can hear the difference. Okay, and with the plugin on. It's just kind of put a dampen on the crackling. Let's see if we can EQ as well. So we're gonna find where this area is. Also, in fact, I'm gonna add some low end because I just feel like it's top heavy. Okay, so just A-B in the EQ. So this is without the EQ. And this is with it. Okay, so I'm not going to go too far with that. So let's throw the EQ actually just below the compressor. Okay, so now I'm gonna just listen to this with the rest of the track. Just checking the gain stage here. As you can see, gain staging is a bit hot. So I'm gonna highlight this whole track and I'm gonna see what's going on automation wise. Again, we have some automation that I don't believe makes any sense at this point. So I'm just gonna take all this off. I'm going to raise this to level 00 across the board. Okay, so now let's have another listen. Very hot. So now I'm going to reduce the gain of this. Oops, we've done something we don't want to do. Okay, let's come out of here, highlight all the tracks and reduce. Very hot, as you can see on the meter. So let's keep reducing. Let's reduce it right down. It's getting -5 on the -3.5 on the reading. I'm gonna pull it right down. Okay, let's bring in the vocals now. So happy with this gain staging. And then there's I believe 2 tuning forks. I'll just name them tuning fork 1, tuning fork 2. It's always good to label your tracks. So get into a habit of that, because once you start to build up all your tracks, you're going to realize that you wish you did. So tuning forks, fork 2, or let's put left and right. So this is left and right, because that's what she has. She has one pan completely to the left and one pan completely to the right. And let's hear how that ties in. Again, these are, again, no pun intended, look at levels of this. This is like just, so we're gonna highlight this, in fact highlight the whole track. Oh, let's give our drums a color, so I'll just color it orange for the sake of it. These two I'm going to color bell, so blue, yeah, blue for bell, BB. All right, so now I'm gonna, with these highlighted, I'm gonna come over to our region section and just raise the gain again to make these bells a little bit more. As you can see, when the bell hits, we are landing around -12, which is perfect. So now we've done all the gain staging. Now when we are adjusting our faders, you might not be able to see here, but I have a Behringer Touch X Touch mixer, and it's pretty good. It's nice for hands-on mixing. But as you can't see that, I'm going to upload on the screen so you can see what's going on here. So we have the vocals, we have the drums, we have the tuning fork left and the tuning fork right. Okay, now on the vocals we can see there's no EQ as well. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to clean off anything that's on below 80 hertz, because in her vocal there is nothing below that that's really going to be needed, to be honest. You've got the drums that are also occupying frequencies in that area, so we want to reduce the amount of muddy sounding mixing together. Again, let's listen to a part where she's actually singing. So let's have a listen to this. I'm going to use a different EQ for this. One of my favorite EQs to use. It's basically my go-to EQ. So instead of this, I'm going to swap it with FabFilter's Q3, and it's a mono channel, so I'm going to select mono. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to select a low cut filter, and I'm going to roll out anything that's below 180. And the thing I love about this EQ is you can isolate and listen to particular frequencies. I'll give you examples. So if I raise this up and I reduce the Q, as they call it, and the width of the frequencies, there has this little headphone tab, and this is a solo button. So if I just hold on to that and sweep through, this area, which is 470 hertz, you can hear it's sounding a bit like muddy. I'm going to reduce that area down my, say, 3 dB, something like that. I'm going to open another node and do another sweep through. You know, forgive me, I did mention that I'm going to be using just the stock plugins of Logic, but I just find it pretty easier to demonstrate why I would be reducing in that area using the Fab filter because of the isolation plugin. So at this stage, I'm not going to do too much. I'm going to reduce around this 700 mark as well. Tighten the node because it sounds a bit nasally around there. I'm going to give her a bit more air, which means brighten up the sound of her vocals by adding some higher frequencies. So adding frequencies, boosting frequencies around about 10k and up is where you'll be adding air to the vocal or to anything that you're mixing. So I'm going to do an A/B of just this EQ that I've done. So this is it without the plugin, and this is with it. Without, with. Very subtle, but you don't want to be doing massive changes. You know, you can overdo it, and I know there's only 4 tracks, but still, I'm forward thinking for when I want to master the overall gain level of the overall track, song, meditation. Okay, so let's move on now to the bells. Let's see if they're sitting in a good place. So here the vocals sound like I'm gonna bring it down a little bit, just a touch. So I noticed by removing this echo, the drums have become a bit more present in the mix. So I feel like I'm going to reduce the amount of echo that it is in the mix on the drums and just bring it back in and see if that makes a change. So this wet dry section, so wet meaning how much of the effect is being introduced, and dry is how much of the effect of the dry signal you're introducing, so you can balance between the two. Let me try playing around with the triplet as well. much we can do about the distortion in the drum. It's in there. And this is one of the things that when you are playing an instrument, you definitely want to be mindful of the level that's going into the microphone or the preamp or whatever. There are several stages to it. So you've got the performance, then the microphone's going to be capturing that, and then it's going to be running through the cable to your audio interface, and which is connected to the computer. So there's several stages of how to control the level. Obviously, your playing level, the level you're singing or projecting your instrument or your voice is going to be the first point of control. You might have a preamp like mine where I can actually add compressors into it. So by the time it hits Logic, it's already compressing. That's something that you could do. But yeah, in this case, I believe that when the drum was being played, it was just hitting, it was just redlining and causing digital distortion that we can hear. And it's very hard to remove once it's in there. So we're just going to try and make the best of it. Which, like I said, we've just kind of used the decrackle to try and remove some of that. Now the bells definitely could do with something. They're completely dry. I'm going to add an EQ there. So when the bell comes in, let's find the point where the bells come in and work there. Beautiful performance by Angelica. Yeah, so what you can see, watch the area on the EQ meter, and you'll see when that bell hits what frequencies it's ringing off. There's some low ends that I don't want in there. Okay. So this area here, there's a lot of low ends that I just want to chop out because I want to make room for the drums, and plus it's a bell sound which doesn't really need that much of a low end in this, I believe. Okay, we're getting there. I'm going to now add just a bit of reverb to give it some space. Everything else has reverb in the track, and the bell sounds pretty dry, so I'm just going to add one of Logic's stock reverb plugins. I'm also going to just basically remove any of the reverb from affecting the lower frequencies in the mix. Hello. Just doing a video. Okay, and I'm going now. I think that's gives it a little bit of space. In fact, let's carry on. Yeah, I'm still not happy with that. Let me just remove a little bit of the low end, more of the low end. Oh, we are listening to both of them at the same time. 1 second, let me just... Because what I'm going to do is, as it sounds like it's the same sound recorded twice, I'm just going to get the EQ correct on one of the bells, and then I'll just copy that EQ setting over to the other. Better, a lot better. Also, I'm going to make these bells a bit louder in the gain stages. So I'm just going to unmute, take away the... See, we're really quite low there, so highlight everything. Bring the gain up. Keep going. I think that's helpful. So now let's hit our mixer again. I'm just gonna hold in Alt. You can drag that to your next channel. I'm going to do the same with the reverb. Okay. Now you got to consider that you've got two bells at the same time. So now I've got the gain happening in the right place, being okay, just sitting just below the 12, but it's a high frequency, so I don't need it to be right up in your ears. You know, I'm gonna bring that down a bit. Still a bit too loud. Bring it down further. We have automation on these too. Oh, look at that. See, the thing with the automation is there are ways to control this. So without, let's just say someone's done a lot of work and automation and something that they want to keep, and you need to reduce the volume using the fader. Because of the automation, you can't. So I'm gonna just use the easiest way I know how, and that's just go in, double click on one of the EQs, and remember I gave it a boost. I'm just going to drop that back down, and I'm going to do the same for the other one, and this will help bring down the level without messing up all the automation. Sitting about right now. Now we're going to kind of think about where things are sitting on the stage. So we've got these shamanic drums. Now this is very harsh reverb. I'm going to reduce that. Okay. Okay, let's move to a different section. Sorry, guys. Okay, so once you've got things to be in kind of like sitting around the levels that you like each track to be, you now can play around with how things are spread on the stage, whether you're using panning or you're using there's various tools you can use. But for the drums, this has been, like I said, recorded through a mono mic, so I need to kind of create some space for the vocals, which is sitting dead center. I want to space the drums and make them more to the left and right of the speakers. Now, the way I'm going to do this, I'm going to use a plugin called Stereo Spread. That's what I want to use. Straight away you can hear the difference. If you're using headphones or you got left and right speakers, you should hear straight away the difference. If you have got headphones, you know, you could throw them on just to hear what's going on. But what we're doing is basically we're spreading the drums to be more left and right of the vocals, and leaving the vocals dead center. Going back to these drums, I feel that there is some high end frequencies that are just a bit sharp. So I want to bring your attention now to what's happened over all this balancing, gain staging, and level setting and compression and everything that we've done so far. And now bring your attention to the stereo output. And you'll notice that what we have is, when I'm playing the track, we have the meter around about -12, jumping over here and there and dipping down below here and there. Okay, now this is good because it's leaving a bit of headroom for basically mastering the track. Whether you're going to master it yourself or whether you're going to pass it over to somebody to be mastered, you need to leave a bit of headroom so that the adjustments that they make is not going to force it into distortion very quickly. They can now EQ, compress, and manipulate the overall. First of all, you want to probably bounce it, so you just turn it into a WAV stereo file, which is what we could do. And I'll see you back on the other side. So for now, that's all. I'd like to thank you for taking the time to stay with me and listen to this tutorial. If you like what you've seen or heard, please make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and we'll be doing the mastering of this track in the next video. Everyone have a good day, stay creative, and see you in the next video.